Welcome back to Nick Lenz's novel reviews. This is episode 35, and this review I'm reviewing Star Trek Prey, Book 3, The Hall of Heroes by John Jackson Miller. Yeah, this is the conclusion to this awesome three-book trilogy involving the Klingons. Now, yes, this guy on the cover, yeah, it's Emperor Kahless. And the fact that, well, yeah, he is this badass in the book, but he doesn't really carry. One thing that's not true about this cover is the fact that I think this is a really damn good cover. He doesn't carry the sword of Kahless in this book at all. He does carry a bat'leth in the book, and he does team with what's left of the remaining of the unsung. And during the course of this book, the Kashadi, I think I'd say pronounce the species name, their religious order, they reference Deep Space Nine in one episode. Yeah, they decided to invade the territory held by the House of Kurg. And it takes a little while, but eventually Kahless does catch up with the Enterprise and tells them about it. And like, they're all shocked to hear about this, the fact that the House of Kurg's territory is being invaded by this religious order. Yeah, and this woman named Shift, basically posing as a one of their gods who apparently they worship, and Astra, who was from the episode Devil's Due. Yeah, she's in here, along with the USS Avenue. Yes, the Avenue is in here as well, making its first appearance in the books in a while. I would say this is the first time the Avenue has appeared in a novel since, I would say, Star Trek: The Fall. Yeah, I think it appeared toward the end of. It appeared a couple times throughout that particular series of books. But yeah, those books were awesome. Same with this book. Now, this book kind of does advance the whole stuff with the Klingons, and the book basically wraps up the storyline really well. And of course, Kurg basically is, well, behind everything, and of course he gets exposed and he gets dishonored. Just him, surprisingly, not his sons. His sons had nothing to do with what was going on. And then of course, after he's dishonored, he's arrested by the Federation because he did commit acts of terrorism against them as well. So I guess they figured, oh, well, the Klingons basically just want nothing to do with him, so we'll take him and we'll put him on trial for the stuff he did against us. And plus also, one particular unsung in here, Bacchus, I think her name is, she has developed a thing for Alexander, Worf's son. Which Worf is like, damn, I'm getting old. Which, okay, yeah, I get the fact this woman has heck, Worf is surprised the fact that she's developed a thing for his son, Alexander. Now, Alexander at this point, I think, is supposed to be in his 20s. Yes, I think so. Because, as far as I can tell, his first appearance was in Season 3 in the episode Reunion. Which, I think he was about 2 when he showed up there, at least a year or 2 at most. So, yeah, he's in his 20s, and he's the Federation ambassador to Kronos. Which, okay, I like the fact that Alexander is getting a love interest, which, thank you, John Jackson Miller, for giving him a love interest. Excuse me, because when it comes to other Klingons, the only one that's actually given a love interest, well, for the male ones, is probably Worf, and he's had a few different ones over the years. But this book is just pure awesomeness at its finest. I know I'm kind of spoiling the ending a little bit, but I don't want to spoil every single little detail when it comes to this book. But yeah, everybody's triumphant. The main story kind of ends like during like the last like 20 pages or so. It's kind of like an epilogue in a way, stuff dealing with afterwards of what happens with the unsung. They basically don't get punished for what they do. They actually, they're trying to atone for their crimes, which I do appreciate Martok for doing that. And Riker is in this book a good chunk of the time, and I do appreciate the fact that Riker gets a lot of screen time in this trilogy, mainly because of the fact that he's good friends with, well, Martok and Worf. And I like the fact that the USS Gorkin shows up in here as well. I think it's in the previous book where he says, um, where Captain Klang is like, it's like, is that Riker's voice I hear? And he's like, how is the son of whatever his father's name was, Captain Klang's father? he's doing fine. Yeah, I do like that continuity nod, and I do appreciate what this book is trying to do. So, yeah, it's great the fact that John Jackson Miller is following up on stuff from the series, which that is a good idea to do. Yep. So, yeah, Kalis goes with the Unsung to wherever they're gonna go. Just why not? It's not a bad idea for him to do. Overall, I give this book a 9 out of 10. I give the whole trilogy a 9 out of 10. I don't want to spoil every single little detail in here, but the thing ends on a happy note. And I know this book is kind of recent, and I know some people really wanted to read this trilogy, but yeah. I mean, yeah, I kind of spoiled the ending, but it's not exactly the ending of the book. But yeah, ends on a happy note. I know kind of spoiling the ending of the book is a terrible thing to do, gives you a bad luck, but it probably gives some interest exactly what exactly happened during this particular story. It's just really good. I mean, dealing with an invasion, exposure, stuff like that. Yeah, it's just an awesome book. One thing I can appreciate for the Star Trek novels published by Pocket Books is that anytime they focus on the Klingons, it's always an awesome book to read. That is just that's my honest opinion on the matter. Nothing against the other species when they focus on them, but the Klingons, it's always so interesting. Heck, even the episodes from the actual TV shows that usually are Klingon-focused episodes are generally very interesting. I would say the best ones they ever did were for Deep Space Nine. Yeah, those were the best ones, and Deep Space Nine had a lot of them, and I do mean a lot of Klingon episodes. It's the only series to have the most amount of Klingon episodes. Of course, they also have the most Cardassian and Bajoran episodes, which makes sense because the space station that they're on is near it. Deep Space Nine is not in this book series at all. It's just focused on, well, the Titan, the Avenue, and the Enterprise E. That's really it. And General Kirsch is in here as well, and something really good happens to her at the very end because of, well, Kirk being exposed. Good. Alright, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which is episode 36. And I'll see you there. Bye.